The information provided on the Gravy Gang Guild podcast or any external branch related to this podcast, including Discord and social media platforms, is for entertainment purposes only. Nothing herein should be construed to be financial, legal, or tax advice or any advice for that matter. The content of this podcast is solely the opinions of the show hosts, who are not licensed financial advisors or anything of great importance, and does not reflect the opinions of our sponsors, who know not what may come from our mouths at any moment. Conduct your own due diligence and consult your financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
And now it's time for Gravy Gang Guild Live, the show that really gets your gravy juices flowing, now extra meaty, with your hosts, Mystical Oaks, Gala the Kid, Gala the Gal, and me, Crypto Euclid. So sit back, crack open a can of our homemade gravy, and enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, how you going? You gone all quiet now, Alex. We've got Old Man
And
Smithers.
we're here with Gala The Kid.
There we go. You cut out. She's still cutting out. So we've got Old Man Smithers and co-host Oaks.
Oh my God, am I cutting out? I cut out during the whole intro.
Yeah, you cut out and then you sort of like, it popped in like right when I was doing it.
Oh, okay.
Because
It was the best intro.
Oh,
it was the best. Just imagine that.
We're just gonna blame we're gonna blame the Maltese internet for that one.
For sure. It was Old Man Smithers' fault.
I've heard that phrase so many times. It's fine. I'll take it.
You're one of my first spider tank rivals.
I know. Come after me with the flamethrower.
I did. And then I would be like
running away from you.
And then I would be like, I beat Old Man Smithers.
Yep, you're pretty much the reason I started getting turbo boost, just so I could stay away from you.
I love it. And then you guys went on to win. Did you guys win the tournament, the node owner tournament?
Fortunately, we did not. We were so close, but Smooth Harry, his team ended up taking us out.
Okay. So
it was down to the wire. I will say we gave a good accounting of ourselves, at least in the later half.
That was a great game. That was a really good game. Did you see it?
Yeah,
Good?
No, I don't believe I did see it actually.
It was really good. It was close.
Tournament was a ton of fun. I hope they have more of those.
It was fun. I mean, the practice was fun. My game was not fun.
What did you actually play in the, like, didn't you played on the actual stage and everything though, didn't you, Smithers?
I did not. And I'm kind of salty about that, big surprise, being salty. But yeah, they were like, yeah, we're going to bring you to Vegas and, we're going to put you up on stage and all that. And then we got there and I guess they had some kind of issue. I don't know what it was, but the long story short is they ended up completely scrapping the planned tournaments and going with like team, like the devs against the Gala team instead, which I'd like to say that the Gala ended up winning that one, right? Pretty sure they did.
I don't remember that.
All was not lost. I'd have been doubly salty if the devs won.
Right. Of course. The whole thing was a blur to me. I have no idea what happened.
We were talking about that before. 3 days of just frantic excitement. It was good. It was a good time.
It was.
So you've
sore
been,
feet and frantic excitement.
You've been to the American one and now the Maltese one. Which one was more fun for you?
See, that's a loaded question there, man.
It is.
I got more coming for you, so.
Uh-oh.
In terms of the event itself, I'm going to say that each one had its pros and cons. And I'm not giving you a wishy-washy answer because I will give you a firm one. In terms of socialization, like, getting to hang out with people that we know in Discord, Malta was by far the best one. Yeah. Absolutely.
And as far as like NFT drops and stuff, like which one was the best? I'm going to guess the first one.
Well, I will give you a wishy-washy answer on this one. What do you consider the best? Like by the amount, like the dollar value, the first one, absolutely. The second one, I think a bunch of people in the Discord were kind of unhappy with the amount of drops that they got, or at least the amount of drops that were announced. But I think it was a little unrealistic to expect, the same level of windfall that we got on the
Mhm.
first one, especially with the current market.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking more value in game. I don't know exactly what all the drops are, but like obviously I look at OpenSea and I'm trying to snipe the people that are dumping on the market after going to a Galaverse. And
Mhm.
like on the first one, like it was a lot of land deeds and stuff, and I think with this one it's been a lot of card packs, hasn't it? Like with The Walking Dead and what was the other one?
Yeah, we got some card packs from The Walking Dead. That actually happened before we even got to Galaverse. And then we had uh, like something for Legend Reborn called an epic or a stone, a ritual stone,
Mm.
which basically sort of like gives you a list or a number of different Legend Reborn characters or
Yeah, that's kind of like a
monsters.
card pack, right? It's like a stone
Exactly.
card pack. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I actually like the way they did this rather than just like the old boring card packs. No offense to the
Mhm.
card packs that we also got, but I liked Legend Reborn. So getting a set of like 6 monsters that was very cool for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous of that. I want to get that, but I'm gonna wait and see if I can get one on OpenSea.
The prices on there are crazy right now. Like there are so many good deals on OpenSea.
I know.
The same thing
I'm
happened with
trying.
the last one. Like I just snapped up everything because obviously I couldn't go to that one either with heavy lockdowns, and yeah, like it was a good time for me. It's like, why the fuck are they selling at this price? Like, you know, you just hold
Yeah,
it.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
People
you
want to
never know.
recoup the ticket prices, or maybe they're
Oh,
just not interested in.
maybe they were gambling in Vegas and they're like they needed to sell something.
That could be very true. A lot of money lost there.
Yeah.
I didn't even drink at Galaverse one. I was like so worried. I'm just going to get blitzed and do something very stupid with my crypto wallet.
Go hit the
So,
table. I didn't
yeah.
even have time to go to the tables in Vegas at all. So
So
not
that was not the case this time around in Malta, by the way. There was a lot of drinking being done. We went out on BT's boat on Wednesday, which the man is a legend. I just want to say that the fact that he put together a boat trip for all of the orb holders while he was here was incredible. And people were straight up chugging from bottles on that thing. So it was a lot of
who how did that happen? Who got picked to go on BT's boat?
he actually threw out a message in Discord, basically saying, "Hey, would y'all be interested in like me renting a boat and taking it out on for an island tour if you have an orb?" And of course, everybody was like, "Well, hell yes!" And I think he expected like 15 to 20 people ish, and it ended
Right.
up being close to 150. So there was a lot of scrambling while he found a boat that was large enough for that number of people, and it
Oh,
ended
wow.
up out of 150 people on the list, it probably ended up with I'd say maybe 100 people showed up, and it was a lot of fun.
That's a lot of people on a boat.
Yep.
Did you all lose your wallets?
No, no, we did not. Thank God.
No, never mind.
You're talking about
have a
crypto
have a little
wallets.
yeah, your crypto wallets.
No, no, we did not. I figured you were talking about the important one. Yeah.
No, for tax purposes, did you lose your crypto wallets?
Oh my God! Come on now.
That's the running crypto joke. We went boating and lost the wallet.
Oh no. I needed that joke last year because man, IRS has just been pillaging me this year. I don't like it.
Yeah, no one does.
Well, now that you've been to Malta, maybe you might want to move there because I know a lot of the like the big crypto companies that have issues in America. Some of them have moved over to Malta, so it's become like a crypto hub.
Yeah, yeah, it has. They're pretty crypto friendly from everything that we've seen and talked about with some of the locals here. Of course, the downside, U.S. citizen. So unless you're giving up your U.S. citizenship, they will get their pound of flesh.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you live in.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Give it.
So if you go into like a store or something like that in Malta, like because they are crypto friendly, will they accept Bitcoin or ETH or anything like that? Like obviously the gas fee, it wouldn't really be reasonable to do, but do they accept any crypto?
Some of the casinos here do. Yeah, that went to a couple of the different casinos, and I saw specifically, we do accept this.
Oh, that's cool. So like, is that just to cash out their currency, like the euro, or?
Yeah, I think it's more in the terms of we're going to take your money and then we're going to give you your euros back. Like, they don't really care what kind of money comes in, but I think they're just going to give euros back. I haven't seen anything, like no advertisements about opening bank accounts with crypto or anything like that, which would blow my mind. Nothing like that yet.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. So you're sort of like to me, man, like you're sort of like a Gala celebrity. Because
Gala OG.
Like people, I look in the chat and everything like that, and I think you've been around like as long as I can remember, and you seem to be someone that's like very much loved by the community, but you seem to have a couple of haters there too. But I think that goes for everyone.
And you're breaking up, and I think I'm kind of glad that you are. I didn't hear that.
You're like, what was that about haters?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It might be breaking up on your end, but it come through here.
No, I got into Gala in like end of November 2020, early December. I think mainly people recognize the name just because I'm being a salty bastard, excuse the language, in Discord. Like, just I have a bad habit of getting way too emotionally invested. So I'm like, no, you're doing things wrong, and I'm going to type out 4 paragraphs of why I think that's so. It's probably not one of my best features, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
Well, the devs
I
and
haven't
everyone
seen
seem
you
to
doing
like
that
it.
too much.
Oh man, I've stopped now, and I just send like these long multi-page PDFs into the team now. So
Oh my god.
I wish I was kidding. I'm totally not. So they have to deal with it.
Out.
So do they respond friendly, or do they get a bit annoyed?
So I'm sorry, you cut out again, man. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, okay. I just said, do they respond friendly, or do they get a bit annoyed with the big paragraphs and everything of different complaints or changes that you want?
They're completely supportive. That's one of the things. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm not the only person doing that. At least I hope I'm not the only person doing it. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I really do still stick around, and love Gala so much. It's the team they listened. Yeah, and they still listen. Mm-hmm. They might not always do what I ask them to, or they might tell me to go screw off. I haven't gotten timed out of band yet, but they do listen, and you can see that, like the Thune list. I don't know if you guys have seen that thing yet, but I've got it up to like 30 lines, and they've been slowly knocking things off the Thune list.
Oh, so, the Thune.
Yeah, sorry. No, it's just a list that we started in Platinum, where just to keep everybody accountable, because there was so much stuff that had sort of dropped off the radar. NFTs that they said, oh yeah, we're going to get this to node owners, or
right,
stash box rewards, and it's hard to keep track of all of that. So we started up a list for them.
Oh, is on that list. Okay, remember when they sent out like multiple of the Vox things? Remember that? Was that the Walking Dead Voxes where they accidentally sent out multiple Voxes to some people? And then they said if you sent yours back that you would be rewarded. I sent mine back, and I have yet to be rewarded. I mean, I'm sure karmically I'm rewarded. I was hoping Galilee I would also be rewarded. Is that on the list? And if not, could we get that on the list?
I will put that on the list just for you. That is true. I kind of took it when they said that. They were just like, yeah, you'll be one of our favorite people. But
okay.
Tangible reward, I'll put it on the list, and we'll see what they come back with. How about that?
Okay, well, if it is just a favorite people thing, where's that listed at? And where can I print that to frame?
Where on the website is the list of favorite people?
Right, exactly.
That's a good idea. They should do that.
Exactly. Like people of the month, you know,
Yep.
something
Friends
like
of
that.
Gal.
Right.
So I've got a
Yeah.
I've got a question for you I want to ask too, Smithers. Like, I'm guessing you have a couple of nodes and whatnot. Like, how do you go for drops? Do you get lucky, or do you just mostly miss out?
And I swear I'm not doing this to you on purpose. You're actually fading out again on me.
That's all good, man. I might have to
I
like
heard,
talk
or
and
do
then.
you just miss out, which could be taken in so many ways.
No, I said with having a couple of nodes and whatnot, do you miss out on many drops, or do you get pretty lucky getting drops?
Not as lucky as some. Like I've got 8 nodes, which I'm happy for. But I probably get, unless they just go on like a minting blitz, it might be months in between drops. Just sometimes I'll get lucky, and most of the time not.
Yeah.
You guys, I don't know if you remember whenever they were dropping all the Canebot or the Cranebot parts. We used to get like 5 or 6 drops a night. It was great, but it was like screws and that kind of thing. But ever since they stopped that, yeah, the NFTs have slowed down quite a bit.
Yeah, well, I think
Yeah.
the last time I've received one was like 12 months ago. So that's what I was wondering, if I just got a dud node or what's going on.
No, that's pretty normal. I used to keep a running tally on nohypecrypto.com of all of my node drops, my Gala, that I accrued from it. And I stopped it last year because I was making the IRS's job way too easy for them. So I haven't updated it since like mid-December. But I mean, you can go back on there and it's got over a year at that point worth of node drops. And you can see the frequency of the NFT drops. And it comes about once a month, once every month and a half. I'll get one. So just hit or miss.
Yeah. So can you remember your first distribution, like roughly how much Gala you received from one node?
I cannot remember it offhand, but I can look it up for you.
No, I was just curious, man, because like I think my first one was like 6,000 Gala, and I sort of just like, it's all in hindsight, but that's crazy to think that at one point in time when the market was good, that would have been $6,000 a day in Australian money.
Yep. I try not to think about stuff like that. It's just
Right.
So another question then, like as far as like Gala and stuff like that, with NFT purchases, like what do you think the most was that you paid for like a cheap NFT in Gala back in the earlier days?
Oh God. I was buying ranching hamlets for however much those were going for. I know that I blew about 4 million Gala on nodes at one point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think about that now and just want to cry.
Right.
Why didn't I use, just something else, anything? Just
Right.
pull the ether.
You never know.
So,
I mean, you have no idea.
nope. So on December 6th, 2020, which was my first node distribution, I got 8,166 Gala.
Oh,
I had one node at that time. So,
wow.
and then about 2 weeks later, I bought 6 and I was getting 50,000 Gala pop. And yeah.
Yeah.
So you're
Nice.
still sitting pretty tidy then, man. Like if you got 8 nodes running, you're getting 320 distribution a day. Like you could essentially, if you didn't want to live like the super high life, you could just like retire as old man Smithers.
Yeah. And that's what, even with the upcoming halving and all that, they have taken care of the node owners very well. We're all very fortunate and blessed, those of us that have gotten nodes. Are those of us that have gotten into Gala, early. And I still consider us early. Even with the price doing the crazy stuff right now, for somebody that just found Gala, if you have faith that, it's going to keep kicking ass for the next 2 or 3 years, which I do, I think this is a bargain basement time to buy some Gala. So kind of fortunate whenever you look at it that way.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's the perfect time to buy Gala, but not the perfect time to buy a node.
No, probably not.
Right.
I got asked the other day, it's like, do you think the nodes are a good idea? I was like, well, depends on what you mean by good idea. It's one of those things where, are you looking for a tax write-off? Because that would probably be a pretty good one if you can make the IRS swallow it. Yeah, it's definitely changed. I think we're going to see, and this is just me talking. It's not, I have no inside info or anything like that. But
Right.
I do think we're going to see a movement away from the founders nodes, or the priority on the founders nodes. I wouldn't be surprised if they pull them off the market completely. They've hinted around at it already.
They were just
But
talking about that yesterday in gold, right? Did you see that? Bitbender
yeah,
was
yeah,
talking about, yeah. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Like I said, they're hinting at it. I bet you they do it, just because it really doesn't make any financial sense for a buyer right now, unless for very extreme circumstances, edge cases. So I think that energy and time and could be better
Yeah.
put, like Bitbender was saying yesterday, maybe changing them over to game nodes. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Did you
Not,
guys get any Townstar nodes?
I did not get a Townstar node. Do you think that's a good idea, the Townstar node? Since I don't know. I know a lot of people are making like a lot of money on Townstar now. Not so much.
Right. Yeah. I personally think that they will fix Townstar. I think, like Town, the economy.
Mhm.
Eric has said it time and time again. They will fix it. It is a priority. And just from an outside perspective, you look at it and it's like, this is sort of their flagship thing. They, if nothing but for PR and general trust in, the crypto ecosystem, they do have an incentive to make it better. So whether or not the town nodes are a good buy, if it comes out and it's still down like 4,000, 5,000, I plan on picking up another one. I can't speak for anybody else, but just because I think that they have some really interesting ideas on how to make it useful in the future.
Yeah.
See, Townstar is not my game, so it literally sucks the life out of me to play it. I'm not even currently playing it. So, so that's not speaking of that. What's your favorite game that they have that's coming out that you're most excited about?
Yeah, Forged actually and Platinum today was asking the same question, had everybody listed all out, and then he was taking it and weighting the answers and coming up with like everybody's favorite game list. So
Okay, that's cool.
for mine, Townstar was the last, um, just because like you said, it's. I know people love it, but for me, it's not a very fun game. But it pays well, so I'm going to keep on playing it. Uh, Last Expedition was my first choice.
Okay.
That game at Vegas, on now the PP involved in there. So that's one I'm definitely looking forward to. And
I
then
didn't get to
Grit.
test.
Oh,
Okay, great. I
you
didn't
didn't
test
get
it. I
to.
didn't get time to do anything. I didn't test any games. I don't know how people found time to do anything at Galaverse. I have no idea. No idea.
It was a great game, and it was a very polished game for what it was. I'm looking forward to it. And then Grit, just because FPS are at heart. So
All right. Sounds good.
yeah. What about you
G-
guys? What are you looking forward to?
GK?
You want me to go first?
Sure. I
um,
mean, you don't have to.
I like the Legends Reborn card game. That was fun when I played it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Grid as well because I don't mind. Like I like Fortnite, Call of Duty, all that sort of stuff. So, and I also liked what's it called? The cowboy game that was made. I can't even remember. Red Dead Redemption. So that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably say like I played Superior a bit, but it's not really my cup of tea. Like I don't know if it's the graphics or not, like the cartoony sort of look. But I'm really hoping that they actually come out with an RTS game. So I'm hoping for a whole new game that I can actually look forward to.
Well, what do you mean by RTS?
Like
Like, give me an example of what
like,
you're hoping for.
like StarCraft 2.
Ah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
So I was obsessed with that game for like probably 6 years. So I'd really like to get a new RTS that people actually want to play.
Nice. What about Miranda's? That's not on there at all anymore?
Yeah, well, Miranda, like that's the reason why we started the guild, was because of Miranda's. Like, it's just one of those things though. Like, it's hard to tell if you want to play like an RPG and put in that sort of amount of time, like World of Warcraft, until it actually like you get to play it a bit more. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's probably the one that I'm most heaviest in as far as NFTs. But yeah, like Legends Reborn's probably looks like has been the most fun one so far.
Yeah, I'm ready for that one. That one's my top 2. I don't know why it's not out. I asked Bitbender already when, and I thought that was enough. I thought that's all I needed to do. I'm gonna have to start DMing him now. So
Over and over and over again. He responds to that.
right, it's just I'm gonna just daily at him on Twitter and DM him in Discord and on Twitter and until it's released, because obviously it's playable. We played it. It was there. It worked, and I'd like to see that one. I'm also excited about Walking Dead, and I'm still excited about Miranda's. But I just I feel like in 10 years it'll be a fun game to play. I'm just kidding.
Well,
Hopefully 5.
4 or 5, you probably right on the mark.
Right.
I do
I
like.
will say Echoes of Empire. I got to play some of that at this Galaverse, and it was incredible. They've done a really good job with that. So definitely
Really?
check. Yeah.
That one looked good too. There's so many like good games coming out. You're just like, yeah, the win keeps coming up now. Like when can I play that? That looks cool.
Yeah, well,
I was
even
asking the devs about it, and he was like, "Oh, not this year, probably." So
Right.
that was going to be bad.
do you think Spider
Yeah, that's
Tanks?
not.
Do you think Spider Tanks will be released this year?
Oh man, let's talk about spider tanks.
Let's rub my hands
So,
together. Let's get into that.
yeah, I love spider tanks. I'm heavy into the NFTs on it. Played a lot of it, like we were talking about earlier. To me, it's almost it's virtually a finished game right now. What we're playing.
Right.
I know that they're trying to do a couple of things, and this was in the AMA, so I don't feel bad about saying this at all. They were talking about silk, and specifically whether or not the players would prefer silk to come out on different exchanges all at once, or if they should just put silk in the game right now and then let it get on Uniswap, at which point it makes it harder for other exchanges to list it. And pretty much everybody in the Grit Saloon, said, "Oh, we want it all on the exchanges at once," because they're actively working. They're in talks with the exchanges, according to Bitbender's AMA, in order to get Silk listed, which is great. But of course, if that's going to happen, that can be months in the future. And
Right.
somebody asked the question, it's like, well, when can we expect this to go live? And I think it was, I always butcher his name, Akoki, Akoka.
I don't know.
One of the other Gala folks, he was like, well, it's definitely not going to be days or weeks. It's think months, but not
Right.
years. And then towards the end, he was like, towards the end of the year. So I was like, man, it's like another 6 months.
Yeah. It's rough every time you hear that, because I remember what was come out like the end of last year.
Yep.
So when you hear
And
it's
then
gonna be, yeah, you're just like, ah. And is anyone gonna want to still play? I mean, besides new players, is anyone still gonna want to play it by the time it actually does come out? Because we're all gonna be sick of it. We've all played it like way too much.
yeah, that's one of the dangers. I will say, kudos to the team. They have put out so many like big changes to the game in the last month and a half. Whether or not it's just battle ranking or how the garage looks, the ability to sort for the love of God, so I'm not scrolling, through all the weapons trying to find the one I want.
Right.
That kind of stuff has been great. It's just it feels so ready. I just want them to release it. But
Yeah.
I think they're, they keep saying they're waiting on Geary, which is a whole nother thing. Because Geary, somebody asked Doc, um, about how that was coming, and he said it's coming along very well, but it's got a ways to go.
Right.
So
It's
again,
discouraging. It's like, maybe it should just be released and then they figure out the PTE. Like, then it's playable like that also. But I don't know. I have no idea how you handle that. But yeah, I'm sure it's frustrating to the Spider Tank devs too, because it is so almost like polished and ready, and they're probably like just sick of hearing when are we gonna be able to play constantly in their Discord channel.
I'm sure they get tired of being asked over and over again. Unlike Bitbender, who loves that kind of stuff. So.
Oh yeah, well, Bitbender.
Well, I think it's because they gave like deadlines. Like, if they didn't say, approximately Spider Tanks will be launched at this date, well, then people wouldn't sort of carry on about it, I don't think.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because we want them to give dates.
Yeah.
But when they finally do, if they miss those dates, then it's just like a whole other can of worms is opened.
Yeah, they shouldn't give dates. Yeah,
I agree with that. I do agree.
No dates. Don't do it.
As much as I want the dates, I agree they shouldn't give them to us.
And I know a couple of people in the guild as well, like they overextended on the NFT purchases, thinking it was coming out at a certain date, and then they're sort of like, oh fuck, like I got all my money tied up in this, hoping to be able to produce some silk and then be able to sell it, So I think that's probably a problem as well.
Yeah. I bought I'm ashamed to even say this, but I bought a $70,000 map, Spider Tank map at Galaverse 1. Just got hit with the FOMO and was just like, yeah, let's do this. Every time I look at that thing, I'm like, what have you done for me lately?
Right.
Nothing. So
yeah.
70 grand.
What did you get? What map?
Arctic base, the epic Arctic base.
Oh, nice.
That's
I think I have Uncommon Safe Haven, which is like the place I was just murdered on in the tournament. So I don't know why I paid for that.
It's a great map, but Flamethrower is kind of hard on that one. So yeah, I can see. Yep.
Terrible.
So yeah, I definitely sympathize with everybody that's got the money tied up, and I agree. And just like nature of the beast.
It's really hard though, because there's so many new games coming out. You look at all the new, you don't know, first of all, you don't know when they're coming out. And that's the other thing. Like, you want to buy the things, but then you're like, okay, but when is that coming out? And then, like we just said, but you don't really want them to tell you when, because when it doesn't happen, then, you can't be upset about it. But it's tied up in something else and you want to buy more. So that's a problem.
We were talking about this in Discord the other day, and I really do think Gala has matured to the point to where we as players and customers, I'm not going to use the I word, need to look at games that they're putting out much like we would with any other token or coin out there. Look at them and judge them on their own merits. You can't own every token out there. And just like that, you shouldn't, most of us anyway, can't reasonably expect to own something from every game that Gala puts out. So we need to look at it like we do tokens. Do your due diligence. Look at it, figure out when's it going to come out. Do I think this is going to be fun? Do I think this is going to, resonate with customers? Do I think it's going to make me money? And at the end of the day, am I going to play it?
Well, you're not allowed to ask one of those questions, that is it going to make you money? And you're not going to get the right answer for the when is it going to come out. So you're just juggling like a couple other factors, basically like, do I like this game? And do I think other people would like this game? Really?
Pretty much. But it could be worse. At least you don't have to think like, do I trust the team like you do with all the other tokens? So
right. That's true.
So what do you think of the supply cap of Town token? Did I cut out again for you, old man Smithers?
No, that I was sighing and thinking. Just every time we in town, it makes me sad. I got to get over that. I think it's going to be. I think the current plan, the deflationary plan, is going to be a good thing in the end. Uh, I don't know about you guys, or if you do challenges or not, but pretty much every night of my challenge, I get one town less than I did the previous night. So I'm looking at it going, okay, and X number of days or years, I'm not going to get anything for my NFTs. And on one hand, that really worries me because I'm basically watching the utility value of at least the partial utility of these NFTs decrease day by day.
Hmm.
Uh, and on the other hand, I'm thinking, okay, well, if that's what it takes in order to, plug the hole, the gaping, huge black hole that has been just sucking the market cap out of town, then maybe it's worth it. I don't know.
Well, I know I see that you're hopeful because you have a lot of money in it, but let me just ask you this. If this is their flagship game and the one that's been out, the longest, why is it not working yet? Why, with all the other games they're pumping out, why can't they just focus on that one game?
I think they are. I really do. I think they're focusing very much on that game just because they've basically treated it like, the little kids experiment set. Let's do this, see what happens. Let's do that, see what happens. Let's
Right.
promise that NFTs will never, decrease in value. Okay, that didn't work. So let's go to this other thing where, now we have Gala power. Okay, that didn't work very well either. So now let's go town power. I mean, they're just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, at least in my opinion. So I see this and I think they are working very hard to try and figure it out. So whenever they do come out with the economies of the other games and their tokens, it won't be such a cluster because, I mean,
Okay.
being real,
So
it's a cluster.
let me ask you this. So if you described another company as throwing stuff on the walls to see what sticks, you wouldn't really like say that you trusted them, but then you've just said that we trust them. And we do. I do. I trust the team and I think they're going to be around and I'm still, trying like dropping money into it. So and I love the team and I love the community. So what is it? Is it just the people? Is that what is making us do that? Because it's not the saying that the things aren't going to change and then changing them because they've done that like a few times and we're here we are, we're still buying things and believing in them. So what is that?
I'd say it's a testament to how much we trust them. But
Right.
it's like throwing things at the wall is not a new thing, and it's especially I kind of expect it from Eric, just coming from the tech background. I mean,
Mhm.
that's a common thing. If you have money, you throw it at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Just keep experimenting, see what's going on, see what works, see what doesn't. How many
Yeah,
iterations has Google gone through?
sure,
It,
but not telling people one thing and then
well,
and then changing it because people put, they put a lot into that. Like they buy up and they're like, and I know there's in the background, it's not a, no Roy boys and all this stuff, but that's what people are doing. Like, people are investing their money into it in hopes that it's going to be out when, or that whatever they're saying about it is true, and then it switches, and so you never know. Now I go into that with everything. Like the descriptions are so vague and everything. Like you never know. It's literally just like just guess. And I don't even know what some of the things do that I'm buying. Have no
yeah,
clue.
I agree completely. I think I told somebody here at Galaverse because they came up to me and it was after the whole bunker thing, and they came up to me so irate and angry, and they're like, "Doesn't this piss you off?" And it's like, "No, it doesn't. I don't get pissed off at this. I just get kind of depressed and disappointed by it. It's one of those things that it hit exactly what you said on the head. It's Gala is sort of at a tipping point right now in terms of consumer trust. Because for a long time, you had the early adopters that would just buy anything because we were so excited about Miranda's,
Hmm.
and Townstar was, so much better than any other blockchain game out there, because it was like Alien Worlds or Our Planet or, basically just thinly described faucets.
Hmm.
Um, and then you had Townstar that was promising to, actually be a real game, a real blockchain game. And then they did it. And all of us were so excited for that. So, it's just one of those things where you're riding the wave. But we've come to this place, and part of it is crypto winter, where people are starting to say, wait, what do I actually know about these things that I bought? Why would I pay $20,000 for a bunker that just has a bunch of question marks, in the description for a game that I just learned about, and it's, showing me a great trailer, no doubt, but I don't know
Right.
when it's going to come out. People are starting to ask them questions, and they should. I think we've moved past the point where most people are just going to blindly throw money at it, which
Okay,
is
so we're
probably
out of the
not a
honeymoon
smart thing.
stage.
I
Yeah,
think it would be an
yeah,
easier sell though if they had some sort of like staking mechanism where you can stake your NFT like up until the game
Yeah.
comes out.
yeah. I think that's one possible. I don't know if regulatory issues are stopping them from doing that. They kind of get skittish every time we bring up staking, but it's legitimate. It's one of those things where we're sort of at a tipping point for Gala. I think I try to say this to them in a polite way as possible, but I think what they really need to do is sort of stop treating it like what worked in the past isn't going to work right now. So just kind of dial it back a little bit, bunker down, instead of coming up with the next best thing. Work on what we've got. I know that they're working on like 20 different things at a time right now, but if they could just push out, I hate to bring up spider tanks again, but like spider tanks, get it out there, get it live, let people ooh and ah over it, and then just be like, guess what? Now we've got another 18 things coming down the pipe. And now you have all these new people that, were just like we were back in, Townstar Miranda's days. And it's going to be a lot easier to sell to those people when that happens because they see that you've delivered. But said,
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Just, focus on the, Townstar, getting it working properly, and spider tanks, and then all the other ones. But I'm excited, and I'm still hopeful. And I love that you think that they're going to take it back. Like, that's not going to happen. Have you met them?
have I met who?
Any of them? Not gonna slow down, or they're growing. They're just there.
Yeah, yeah. I know that it's one of those things where I don't know what the answer is. I wish I had an answer for them. I wish I had the right one. Really, it's just one of those where I look at it and I am so thankful I'll go on the record that Eric's at the helm of this thing, just because he's making moves and getting deals done that are crazy for a blockchain game. I mean, just absolutely crazy blockchain games to get IP The Walking Dead and Battlestar Galactica, for Lord's sakes. I mean, that was crazy right there. So getting Will Wright to make a game with how crazy is that for a blockchain company? And granted, it's one of those things where in the short span of a year and a half, Gala has truly blown up on the scene, which is awesome. I don't think anybody else could have done that. I really don't. That said, it's like one of those things where it's time to like slow down just a little bit and get some of the deployment out, or just maybe tag somebody to do that, so the deals can keep coming.
Yeah, because they're growing, their team's growing. So just have one team just solely on those things, getting those like working properly. But there's two questions I know I wanted to ask you, really important ones. Like, first, what kind of gravy was served at Galaverse Malta?
I don't want to talk about the food at Galaverse Malta. It was a bad time. It was a bad time. The food in Vegas was so much better. I gotta say it. I'm sorry. If there's one gripe I've got, it was the food. Man, that was bad.
What was it? What was bad? Oh, give us the details.
Okay, I know I'm weird. I'm a vegetarian, so I wasn't like gnawing down on the meat that they had. But everybody that I talked to that had the meat had the same story. It was
Okay.
just it was bad. Like I had some kind of weird bean paste thing that made me want meat, which is pretty bad. And the meat
Wow.
that they did have was just like on a stale bagel. It's just it was kind of rough.
Oh no.
Now the last night that we were there, they got it from somewhere, and that was a nice spread that they had for the last night of the concert. And I believe I did see uh, some thick brown meaty gravy on at least one of those dishes. I will say that I had some tomato gravy on some risotto that was absolutely awesome. So that was
Okay.
my big deal for Multiverse.
So the gravy was your favorite part.
Obviously, obviously.
Yeah, they should all if it's not good food, you should just smother it in gravy because that makes it taste way better. All you can taste is the gravy. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it worked. It absolutely worked.
Before the show, though, you were saying something about how Malta had good food.
It was, and Malta has great food. I have been just eating my face off here. Uh, it's got great seafood and great pasta, and
Yeah.
it's surprisingly cheap. Like
Yes.
we were talking earlier, it's like Michelin star restaurants are here, and the bulk of them are really good and really cheap. Like $70 for a person to eat at a Michelin star restaurant, which is
Right.
kind of hard to pull off anywhere that I've been to anyway.
Yeah, for sure. What did you have?
Oh, man, I had some salmon. I had some pad thai. I had these awesome little, they take crab meat, sort of like crab rangoon. They take crab meat and surround it with cream cheese and then fry it like a little dumpling. It's, instant heart attack, but oh so good.
Anything fried is instant heart attack and usually good.
Yeah. My wife is a
Nice.
cardiologist and she's been listening to this, no doubt, just been like, statins, you're going on statins. I was like, yeah.
She's like, no. Well, that brings me to the second question of which how you want to give us like a decade? How old is the old man Smithers? How
I'm
old?
like 45. I'm gonna be 45 this year.
Too
So
old.
not
Too
that
old.
old.
I think
It's more
GTK
like
thinks 45 is what did you say 45 range is GTK?
I can't even remember what you're talking about.
I think you said it was like ancient or something. There was like you had like
No, that was over 60s ancient. Because I was doing Gala levels for everything. And I said old for 45 because I know Oaks is 45. So I was trying to have a little jab at her.
then he can sympathize, man. It gets tougher with every year. Today, one thing about Malta that's awesome. Like I like archaeology. Like it's a fun thing for me to read about and look at. And they have stuff here that's older than the pyramids, like crazy Neolithic ruins that are in pretty good condition. So I took a car and was riding around today looking at some of these things, and you have to hike to get out there. And it was a pretty good walk. And then I saw a nature trail and I'm like, oh, I used to hike all the time. This would be awesome. Beautiful sea views. Like a mile and a half into that nature trail, I'm thinking, good God, what am I doing? I'm not 20 anymore. Because, it was climbing. I was basically having to climb a cliff towards the end of it to get back to the car. So it's times like that where the old man really comes out.
Well, that's so nice.
That's why you need a helicopter on the ready.
Yes. With
that is. I'm trying to look up something. Where was that?
So someone in the chat said, "Old Man Smithers, what game do you think is going to bring more gamers to the community?"
Grit.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well.
Big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody loves a first-person shooter. Most people like Battle Royale. The Western one hasn't really been done that well yet. So I've been playing the heck out of that. And the deal with Epic, I know people are like, well, is it really that big of a deal. I don't think the deal with Epic is a big deal, for the sake of just having it on the storefront, because how many games are on the Epic storefront? I think the big deal is if they can do what they're talking about and make a seamless login on Gala's site with your Epic account. If they can do that, where people who have an Epic account can just log into Gala Games with that account, not have to worry about their wallet or anything, and just go straight to the game and other games on the ecosystem, that I think that's going to draw in a lot of people, especially if they market it right. I think that's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
I've seen some people on Twitter, and I think they must be from the Epic community. They were sort of like getting a bit pissy or a bit bender. They're like, oh, it's not a partnership. It's just it's just going to be listed on their store, and they probably, like, Epic doesn't even know about it and all the rest of it. And, yeah, like, you're going to get that sort of stuff everywhere. But this guy was like a game dev, and he's like, oh, it just can't happen. Like, they just wouldn't know about it. So it's one of those things where it's going to pick up a lot of heat, because you've already got people like in the gaming community that hate microtransactions. But at the end of the day, if you're playing Fortnite, that's what it is anyway for a skin. So why not pay a bit extra and actually own something?
Yep. And that's sort of like what we were talking about earlier, is Gal's got to be kind of careful with this, because it's, in my opinion anyway, I think they need to approach with caution, just because as they break into the wider world, people are going to be asking themselves, why do I need to pay $200 for, something that allows me to play a game?
Yeah.
So there does need to be a free to play element in there.
Well, I think that's like the beauty of the rental system, though, because it will be people like us that are willing to fork out the $200 and then rent it out to someone, and then essentially, they get a percentage of whatever they win and how much they play.
Yeah. It's just, you always have to have inflow if you're going to have outflow. So people like us that are willing to pay $200, what you really need is people that are willing to drop, a couple $100,000 into the ecosystem. So then that supports all of the little $1 and $2 payouts, that Gala is making. Like, it's that's the code that needs to be cracked. And I know they're working on it. That's why I'm so bullish for Townstar. Sooner or later, they're going to figure that out. Like, how do we keep it going to where, the ecosystem doesn't suck the piggy bank dry?
Yeah.
How do we get people to come in?
Well, when you got $2 town, like, you're going to have a lot of downwards pressure anyway, with people just selling every day, because like if you've got a lot of NFTs, like, I know even like one of the people we have in the guild was making like $6,000 a day at one point USD. So
those were the days.
Like, if you're making that sort of money, like, fuck, you're going to be trying to sell it every day just to not sort of like dollar cost average those drops.
Yep.
So.
Yep. No, it's a hard nut to crack. It really is. Like, it's just one of those things where how do you get people to act against their own self-interests? Whenever you have so many situations, like individual situations. So the honor system, did you guys hear about that?
No.
No, I didn't hear that one.
Oh, see? So one of the things that came out, they've been talking about it for a little while, just kind of kicking the idea around. And I think Bitbender was talking about it in Gold, or Benefactor was talking about it in Gold not too long ago. But they're looking at an honor system. They did talk about it on stage at Galaverse, so I'm not leaking anything here, where your actions on the ecosystem will either help or hinder your ability to earn. So as 1984-ish as that sounds, what they're basically talking about is, if you are constantly dumping, then you might find your ability to earn is decreased. It's never going to decrease past a certain baseline. At least that's what they're saying now. So if you're a node owner, for example, you're getting 300 odd Gala per night from your node distribution. If you have a high honor, and these no numbers have been given out yet, but if you have a high honor point, then you will get a little bit extra in addition to your normal payment. Whereas, and then if you go turn around and sell your Gala and dump it on the market, you're going to lose honor points, at which point then you're going to go back down to the base.
Yeah.
And I really do think they're going to push that. I think it's coming. and I think it might have a good effect.
Yeah, well, the thing with me, like, I just want to like get your opinion on it since that's what you're talking about now. Like, with the Gala PR and stuff like that, like, I'm not really one to hold much Gala. Like, I've just been buying NFTs throughout the whole market since I've had a node, and you know, like if you, I feel like that's sort of taken away from people to actually spend their Gala to buy NFTs by having the Gala PR just like sitting over your head and not letting you allocate, you know, X amount of NFTs into a game like Townstar.
That's a valid point. Yeah, it's one of those things where how do you hurt? I hate to say hurt. How do you control the whales without hurting the people that aren't?
Yeah.
It's the one size doesn't fit all.
Well, if there was some sort of system where like you could actually get rewarded for not dumping on an exchange, like actually selling the Gala and putting it into NFTs, but you know, they're going to have to be able to pick that up from a lot of different places as well, because a lot of the time now you can buy stuff on OpenSea cheaper than the store. So,
right, and they've already said, or Benny's already said, that it's something to think about. That buying from the store wouldn't affect your honor.
Yeah,
just because you're losing. But on the other hand, like you said, OpenSea is a huge part of most people's buying and selling of Gala NFTs. So how do you take that into account? Yeah, it's going to be an interesting system and seeing if it sticks whenever it hits the wall.
Yeah. Well, Punjab said in the chat, he said, thought Gala Power is a great idea, almost like staking.
So, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Like,
yeah, but you can't say staking.
Yeah.
Right. You can't, it's terminology.
Well, I just don't.
Exactly.
I just don't like being limited to how many NFTs I can use, because like if I've got 100 like Mirandus NFTs, like how much Gala Power is that going to be to utilize it in game? So like if I want to keep buying NFTs, I feel like I shouldn't be punished. Maybe they could make it so the Gala Power actually goes up with how much NFTs you have in the inventory as well.
That would be good.
Yeah.
That just come to my head. Because that's the only thing that really makes sense. Like put the Gala Power as well, so you get some sort of incentive for having NFTs.
Yeah, for sure.
That was brought up pretty early on whenever they were talking about Gala Power. And I think it was met with pretty positive thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to remember who we were pushing this towards. And I think it was Benefactor in Platinum whenever it was first brought up. But at the same time, I don't know how they would track that. It's relatively easy to scan a wallet and see what you've got. But what about those people that have the NFTs scattered across 5 or 6? Because there are definitely people doing that right now to get around the whole Gala Power issue. If you've got 50 NFTs, just put 15 on every other account and no more Gala Power issue. Or just transfer them from account to account along with the necessary Gala or town that you need. So they're having to fight that as well.
Well, now's the time to do it in more of a bearish market, because we're not going to be paying over $100 USD for a gas transaction. So
yeah, gas has been remarkably kind lately, probably because of that.
Yeah, I remember in the peak
the other day for NFT transfer.
Yeah. I remember in the peak, like paying like $300 USD just to buy like an NFT, just because of the gas.
Yep. Crazy times.
Sometimes I think about. Sorry, man, you cut out a little bit, so I think I might have spoken over you a bit. But I sometimes think about like how many PS5s I could have in my house if I just brought consoles instead of NFTs. I could probably like have screens
more than you need.
Yeah, I could rent them out to like the community and stuff.
Like play to earn that way.
Yeah.
You have a rental system. You could deliver it. Oh no. Well, did you make it? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's going to be an interesting couple of months coming up. Just with all of this talk, about the honor system, with Geary, there's just so much stuff that's happening. I'm looking forward to it very much. I'm trying not to get too hyped up on dates. It's like,
Oh
oh, it's
yeah.
July. Has anything happened? Oh, it's August. Has anything happened?
I am so numb to dates. Like if they say Spider Tank's is coming out tomorrow, I'll be like, yeah, sure. I'll believe it tomorrow when it happens or doesn't. So yeah, I'm not I don't even. But did you make it to the archaeological dig area or did you turn around?
Oh no, I did make it. Yeah, took some
You
great
did.
pictures. Yeah. So
Nice.
my mom's a big archaeology buff, so I was able to send those to her. I just didn't turn the camera around and show her son that was having a heart attack trying to get up
You're like no video because I'm breathing heavy.
there.
I had a similar experience. My son tried to kill me. We went to a place in Georgia, Tallulah Gorge, and
Oh yeah.
it's like, have you done Tallulah Gorge?
No, heck no, no.
Oh God, I didn't know. We went about an hour and a half before sundown, which is when the park closed, and we decided to go down the trail. You're laughing already.
I know where this is heading. It's great.
I was literally at the bottom thinking, I wonder if they can get a helicopter down here to get my ass out of here. Because it's 2 miles of stairs. And by the time I got to the bottom stair, my legs were like jello. They were literally, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I have to go all the way back up. What the hell?
And the sun's going down, you know?
I know. And then I felt so like by the time I was on my hands and knees at the last set of step crawling up the stairs. It's like fucking I'm getting up it. And then I felt really bad about myself. And then I read that it's like a 3.5 hour thing. And I did it in like an hour and 20 minutes. So I was like, okay, I don't feel so bad. I killed
Good
Tallulah
job.
Gorge. Yeah.
And you're here now.
I'm still
You
alive.
made it.
Barely made it. So.
I would highly suggest anybody that's in the area to definitely visit Malta. It's an incredible island. I'm very glad that we had Galaverse here. And getting back to Galaverse, if you don't mind, it's one of those things where the sets were like twice as big. So they had so many different rooms now that it was actually you're in danger of getting lost, which was kind of cool.
That is
It
cool.
took me a good half day just to find my way around.
So what was your favorite room out of all of them? I reckon the Grit one looked really cool.
Yeah, the Grit Saloon by far.
Yeah.
Not just because there were chairs there where you could sit down, and beer that was being served, but they had like actors that were getting into fist fights.
Yeah, I seen that on
whole
one
play
of the
that was
clips.
happening.
Yeah, it looked really
It was
cool.
great.
I don't know how they do it, man. Like the way, I was watching a clip where they're like pretending to punch each other and stuff, and you couldn't really tell that it wasn't connecting. Like it looked like he was punching him in the face, like from the point of view that I was looking at it anyway.
So those guys, I was talking to one afterwards, and I couldn't get him to break character, but he did tell me that he went to film school. So evidently, that it's an actual company that's getting actual actors to come out and do this. They were breaking chairs over each other, and they had the fake chairs and the broken bottles. But then they grabbed a real chair, and I was like, "Ooh, what's going to happen?" Then he put it back down. I was like, "Oh man."
I cut out during the best part. Oh no.
That's all right. It was really good. You'll have to listen back.
Yeah, I'll be like, that's my Easter egg.
I think I might cut that part out of the show and just keep it for me. You know what I mean? And the
You
people
won't
that
edit. You don't edit, so I know you won't. If
so
you were
you
going to
can't
edit anything, it would have been the one you complimented me on.
Yeah, well, that's still not out of the question. So have you been to many other countries at all, Smithers?
Quite a few. I think 20-ish, somewhere in there.
So have you been to the Upside Down at all?
I have not. I want to, though. We did I don't count this. We did what's called Cobra Gold in the Marine Corps. And we were supposed to stop in, and it ended up getting turned around because North Korea was doing something dumb at the time. So they turned the boat around and went right back to Japan. It's kind of a bummer.
Oh,
It's actually it amazes me like how many people we've had on from the Gala community that have been like in the army in some point of time.
Yep, a lot of military there.
Like I could literally like go to the pub and talk to random people every night in Australia, and I don't think I'd run into anyone that's been in the army.
Really?
Maybe
Because
like
you got some big MFers in the Australian Marines. And they can drink. Oh my God. We had them on our base, and it was just like hanging out with them on a picnic table. They were eating steak because, of course, and they put away more beer per person than I've seen in a long time. Like, we were kind of worried about them.
Yeah, well, I think because like in Australia, most of us are like originally Irish descent, so like Irish and English. But I think it's yeah, I don't know, like it's just culturally here, like the same as it is in Ireland, I guess. But there's not many people I know that don't drink, like at least probably 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah. I've drank more in the last 4 or 5 days than in the last month and a half or 2 months or so. So, yeah,
Well, you said
I
your
can't
wife's a
keep up
doctor,
with
so
somebody.
if your wife's a doctor, well then you're probably gonna have a hard time drinking every night.
Wait, and you faded out for me again.
I said
selective hearing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
sorry, couldn't hear
like I said if your wife's a doctor, you probably wouldn't be able to drink every day anyway.
it. No, definitely not. No.
So what does like your wife being a doctor, like what does she think about NFTs and stuff like that? Does she understand it all?
Not at all. She's not interested in it. She's one of those things where it's just like, oh, is the money in our bank account yet? No, then it's not real. It's kind of hard to look at at times.
She's like imaginary money.
Is she impressed with how much time you play Townstar?
Sorry, faded again.
This is selective fading, I reckon. It's like
Yeah, it's just me.
I said, does your wife get bothered by how much you play Townstar?
Or tanks.
No, just because mainly I set it up and let it play by itself. So she's been the one that's actually collecting rewards for the last couple days while I've been here. So this is like the first time that she's actually played it, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So we'll see.
You'll have to let us know.
Well, if all the NFTs are gone from your wallet, it's a bad thing. So
wallet is now empty. Everything's in the bank account finally.
Yes. She's like, you didn't have money? It's now real.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She's like, fuck that game. Did you know about OpenSea, Smithers? I just sold everything.
Just dump it all in the middle of crypto winter. It'd be awesome. I would cry.
So
that would be bad.
Do you think we're in like a market fake out, or do you think this is going to be a legitimate like bear market for a couple of years like last time?
Oh man, predicting crypto markets.
Right.
Just for fun, I think that we're probably in for a long haul. I do. I think, like 2018, how it had that huge dump at the very beginning of the year, and then it just kind of this long slog with a downward slant for the entire year. I'm starting to see some similarities where we get that small little bump, and then it just goes right back down, and then it tracks down even further, day by day. So I'd love to be wrong about that, but crypto tends to follow, the economy, the stock market. Not always the same thing, I know, and I think we're in for a beating, just economy wise, especially gas doing what it's doing. So I wish I would have liquidated more than I did a couple of months ago, because I think those people that have capital, like ready capital, are going to make out like bandits in a couple of months. So
yeah, that makes sense. So someone in the chat said the worst waifu. What was Smithers' favorite part at Galaverse?
Galaverse 1 was obviously his uniform or his unicorn outfit, obviously.
Right.
Yeah. Galaverse 2, I did look for it. But here was probably, it's going to sound stupid, but the play tests that we had here, like I must have played like 4 hours of grit, just on the play test,
That's cool,
going
man.
and checking out the Mirandas, talking with the Echoes of Empire devs. I did play a little bit of Walking Dead Empires. Didn't play any Legacy just because it doesn't speak to me at all, but they had one
Yeah.
computer there as well. So people were taking advantage of that. So it's a rare thing to be able to talk to that many devs. And
Yeah.
that was one of the awesome things about Galaverse.
So what is it with Legacy that doesn't really interest you much? Is it because you think it might compete with Town, or?
It's because it looks just like Town. Like, I mean, like the business version. Like, if you don't like Town, I don't think you're gonna like Legacy.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, I love business. Like, I got my MBA because I love business. I don't, for some reason, that one just doesn't do it for me. Maybe I haven't read up enough on it. Maybe I haven't, played enough of it. But just this idea of the player run economy, it's wonderful, but I don't know if making bicycles and cakes are going to do it. There's bound to be more to it. I'm waiting for that more to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as far as you said you played The Walking Dead, what was that like?
It was surprisingly good. It was kind of buggy. There was quite a few bugs while I was playing, but I can definitely see the appeal, especially if you start having like 20 or 30 people running around on the same screen, building up the base together, attacking other people. That's my jam. I like doing that. I'm a bit of a troll. So I can definitely see some trollish fun in that game's future.
Yeah.
What do you think about playing as guilds though? And what guild are you playing in?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry, you faded.
So in games where you need like a guild to play, are you interested in any of those games? And what guild are you playing in when you play any of those games, if you will be playing any of those games whenever they come out?
I'm just like such a bad guildie just because I can't commit any time. So, it's like people relying on you. I hate letting people down.
Right.
So most of the time you'll see me, I'm running solo. Like I gladly play with the Mafia folks. I'll gladly play with the Gravy Gang Guild whenever I see you guys online. But in terms of like formal joining, I'm gonna suck at these games because people like Echoes of Empires. You need to have a guild on your side. I'm just gonna be that little guy getting toasted trying to mine and just like leave me alone, get off my lawn.
Right.
Well, we're pretty bullish on Echo, so if you need friends, just let us know.
Yeah,
I will yell for help for you guys.
Sounds good. We're pretty laid back on that. I mean, we haven't, they're not out yet, so we haven't like really been strategically figuring all those things out. But I think we're pretty laid back and would just like play with anyone as and that's in our Discord or not. Right?
Yeah. I'm sure we'll find some other guild to war with eventually, but we haven't come across them yet.
Yeah.
Is there any
guilds?
guilds?
There's definitely going to be some warring.
Is there any guilds that you're not a fan of, Smithers, that we can declare war on?
Yeah, who's wronged you?
I mean, like wrong me as in just like whip my ass over and over again. I would definitely say Mafia. If you guys go to war with Mafia, that'd be awesome. Just destroy them in spider tanks, please.
Right.
I really do try and get along with everybody. And yeah, if I can deal with 12-year-old screaming in the Call of Duty lobbies, I can get along with it. I try to anyway.
So do you play?
Is that your game?
Yeah, Call of Duty.
Oh yeah. Used to play a lot of Call of Duty.
So what do you think was better, Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2?
Oh God, man, asking the hard question. Sure. I actually really like 2. I'm sorry. I like 2.
Yeah, I like 2 better as well.
Thank God. Man, I've been dragged into some arguments on that one.
People are passionate about that.
So are you still smashing out Call of Duty, or are you just not really keeping up with it now?
Modern Warfare. Don't really like Cold War or anything like that, and I don't do Warzone. Just like TDM. But yeah, I will play the heck out of some Modern Warfare.
Oh, that's cool. So we've got Crisp in the chat said that it was hard to find water at the Galaverse.
Right, I saw that.
Right. That goes back to the food thing, man. It was pretty bad. I don't want to go on another rant, but yeah, water was. I was drinking beer. Like I had just so much beer because I couldn't find any water.
Oh no.
No, I'm
It's funny.
serious.
You can find all the beer you want, but no water.
Yeah, and they had like good liquor there too, but no water.
Oh my
So
god.
Well, that's probably a
funny.
good thing, really. Like, who needs water anyway? It's only
Right.
hydration.
Well, it was hot. It's hot.
Well, I'm sure it's not.
It was,
Was it hot in
It was
there, or
brutal.
was it like climatized pretty well with air conditioning and whatnot?
it came and went. Like it really depended on like where you were and how many people were in the room. During the AMA, it was brutal. Like it was probably pushing 90 in there just because
Oh,
there were so
God.
many people packed in. I know Bitbender was just dying up on stage.
Oh god.
Yeah, he had those lights shining on him. I was just watching him thinking, oh man, that's gotta be tough. But yeah, um, it was like all throughout the day it'd be fine. And then all of a sudden you'd go into like one certain room and it would just be hot. Like you'd start sweating. So water was necessary and there was none. So I was the guy stumbling onto the bus at the end of the day just because I was just absolutely blasted.
Yeah.
So
Beer and foaming.
how'd the wife feel about you going to Malta and leaving her behind? Did she want to go, or she's just too busy?
I tried to get her to go. She bowed out whenever she learned how far the flight was. So, in exchange, I flew her sister in. So she got to visit with her sister and it helps out with the baby and all that while I'm in Malta having the time of my life. She sends me emails every now and then. I hope you're having fun.
I hope you're having fun.
So
You're like, you could have came.
so you have a
Right,
little one.
exactly.
You have a little one that's baby age right now. Is that what you said?
Say that one more time, man. Sorry.
I said
fading.
you. No, that's all good. I said you've got a baby at the moment. Do you? You and your wife?
Yeah, she's 3 years old.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yep, that wonderful age.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I would like to go back to my son being 3 again. They always go on about like what do they call it, like the angry twos or whatever, but I reckon it kicks in at 3, like the destructive
twos.
threes. Yeah.
Yeah. Threes, whenever they start getting their independence, they're like, I can tell people no. I'm not doing it. It's fun.
Yeah, it's
So,
weird
yeah.
watching like kids grow up. It's almost like, like whatever the soul part is of someone, it like kicks in around 3, and that's when they get the attitude.
It's like the personality years, which has been really cool. She's awesome. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, it's definitely one of those times where did you learn that? It's like, oh, school. That's where it is.
It's cool. If it's bad at school.
Yeah, it's got to be because she's come home with some stuff. And the other day she's like, "What the heck?" And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And my wife just looked at me and she's like, "That was you. You taught her that."
So how'd you come up with the name Old Man Smithers?
I used to stream a lot, like 7 or 8 years ago, like mainly Heroes and Generals, that kind of stuff. And most of the people that started watching were of the younger sort. So they used to call me a salty old bastard. So I just kind of ran with it.
Right. Is that from Scooby-Doo though? Or yeah.
I swear to God, it was not.
It's not?
But no, like I had no idea there was a character. And like within months of me completely pimping out the Twitch stream and getting the logos and all that, everybody started making Scooby-Doo references. And I'm like, what the hell are you people talking about? So yeah, it wasn't until after the fact that, yes, there is an Old Man Smithers. Yes, he does have his own Wikipedia page, and it's not me.
That's so funny. And
Yeah.
he's like a creepy janitor or something like that. He's like,
I was kind of waiting for the copyright infringement. It never did.
they decided not to slap you with it yet. Just wait.
Just wait. Would have
Just
gotten away
wait.
with it.
If it weren't for those meddling kids.
Rooting for those meddling kids.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm glad you came on. It's been great talking to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. Said you guys helped me stay awake, so maybe I can actually be on the right time zone whenever I get home tomorrow.
Yeah. Have a good flight. A good, what, like 13-hour flight?
Yep.
Oh
Hopefully
my
sleep
gosh.
on some. But
What do
yeah,
they
I appreciate
serve?
it.
They serve
What?
any meals on these flights now, or is that a no go now?
I got bumped to business on the way over, and the answer to that question is yes, and the meals are great.
Oh wow.
Like, yeah, like crab meat stuffed deviled eggs. And it's just like, oh,
Shut up.
this is how the other half lived. I didn't know that.
You're like,
But
what is going on?
yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get bumped this time. So I'm probably gonna have to do like the chicken cordon bleu hobby kit, like
Right.
Fight Club.
So,
I'm probably gonna have to deal with that on the way back.
so how do you separate the normies from the first class in an airplane? Is it just like a curtain?
Yeah, pretty much.
So when
It's
the
like just a curtain.
when you're in first class, do you sort of like grunt or make a sigh every time the curtain's opened, or is that not a thing?
No, you can't hear it because you have your rabbit fur earmuffs on with the gigantic blanket that they give you, and the waitress, batons them out of the way if they come into first class. Peasants.
Oh my gosh.
It's definitely the way to go if you can afford it. But I'm just going to look at them and ask, please. We'll see what they say.
Well, hopefully you get in the first class on the way back anyway then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, the balance, you might get sat by the bathroom this time.
Undoubtedly. It's going to be the last seat. Can't put it back. Right by the bathroom.
Right. Worst seat on the plane.
Yep. With the baby right in front of me. It's going to happen.
Oh yeah, it will. Nice.
It'll be more of a
Right,
richer,
GT.
like a richer cry anyway. So it'll be like more of a whine than a cry. So you might be all right.
For 13 hours.
13 hours, yeah.
All right.
Geez, man.
Well, yeah, thanks for coming on the podcast, man. It's been good talking to you. It's good to put a voice to the actual avatar that you have. I was thinking you might have been like a bit more cranky, but you're not too much of an old man Smithers, so that's all right.
I appreciate it, man. Like I said, I try to be in a good mood and just get on rants in Discord, and it just keeps going. I can't help myself.
Like, I can't help it.
I do appreciate it. So it's great talking to you. Hope to see you in San Diego. Y'all are coming, correct?
I am.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, I don't know. Gala The Kid, are you gonna try to make it?
I'm just gonna have to aim at the next one, honestly, because I would like to get back in. So
Boo.
I don't think I want to be a citizen of America at the moment. So
You're like, I don't want them to keep me. I'm gonna try to make it for sure. I have no idea though. I'm like you with I make plans at like the last minute. So I mean, we'll see. That sounds like a ways away, but it'll be here before I know it. So probably I will be there. Wendigo has told me I'm going to be there, so I will probably be there.
well, if it's in America, and you'd be silly not to go.
Yeah, it's across the country from me though, but
Well,
yeah,
that's why you get a plane though, and then it's sort of like
right.
a couple of years,
Yeah. Get a plane.
Yeah,
I hate flying.
Just go on Old Man Smithers' private one, and then you'll be
right.
Every seat is business class.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
I promise.
I want the little the crab eggs, the crab stuffed. I don't want just the peanuts.
No peanuts on Smithers' flight.
Thank you.
You just have to close your eyes and imagine, because that's pretty much all we got.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll might as well end the podcast now. And if you stay in the chat for a couple of minutes, man, we'll just thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man.